If you do not understand white supremacy, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you do understand will confuse you. In all of these 9 areas of activity, economics, education, entertainment, labor, law.
All 3 books are in, and we're ready to go. Go ahead and speak about your book for a few minutes, Mr. Fuller.
Yes, you can get the book, and I've read a few things from it this morning, by going to producejustice.com. Producejustice.com. And what the book is about, and what I started writing it about, I wrote it for myself. It's directed to the individual victim of racism. And one of the titles is For Thought, Speech, and or Action for Victims of Racism. If you don't consider yourself to be a victim of racism, the book is not for you. So don't spend your money on it and your time even listening to it, because you've got racism beat. You know all about it. You know enough about it. You can handle it, all situations. Someone called me just the other day and said that he wasn't thinking. That's the first thing he told me. And he got an arrest record now because a driver of a car slipped up in some kind of way, and used the N-word. And because he wasn't ready for that, he hit the person. He hit the person driving the car. The person immediately got on his phone, called the law enforcement people. He got arrested, and it all came out about how that came about. And they said, well, you can't assault somebody from calling you a name, so sorry about that. All right? And so he used the N-word, but he said he suddenly just lost his temper out of tradition. See, we lose our temper out of tradition. Suppose you didn't even know, you had never even heard the word. You wouldn't have had any reaction at all. See, but we have been trained to react to certain words. Now, why am I saying all this, talking about the book? The book is designed that we should know how to handle every situation that comes up in a way that no one will ever handle it better in 10 million years. That's what codification is supposed to be about. Every move that you make is supposed to be the best move that ever will be made. I said 10 million years, but I mean really infinity. It can't be better than that. That's the way black people should train ourselves to think. Now, that person has an arrest record now where he had no kind of record before. And an arrest record for assault is serious. You can be turned down for a whole bunch of jobs.
Yes.
All right? And he's kind of up in age. See what I mean? So, you don't, hey, black people are known for our hot temper. Get mad about everything. Well, I don't even like the way you look at me. I'm mad. I got to do something about that. Where's my pistol? See, well, I can understand it, but they say, hey, the white supremacists say, you can always control those Negroes through their emotions. You can make them fire themselves on a job by just by certain words you can use or a certain way that you talk to them, and they'll walk off the job. Well, that's what you wanted them to do anyway. That's why, so the code is designed to do what? We master language. We don't let words master us under any circumstance. We're like ice when it comes to words. Somebody can say anything, any kind of old way. We ain't going to get disturbed by what they say. Watch what they do. Like fighters in the ring. They know that. You start playing into what the guy is saying, you're going to miss that left hook. See, he's talking that stuff to you when he's got you in a clinch. All right? You let that, and you start swinging wild. That's exactly what he wanted you to do. Lose control. You let the words bother you. That's why that next blow came out of nowhere and flattened you out across that ring. They said Muhammad Ali was good at that. I don't know. That he
So
could
let me
talk
get this.
to you.
Let me get this straight, Mr. Fuller. So you're driving in the car with your wife or whatever, and a peace officer stops you for whatever the reason and calls you a black NGR. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right in front of your woman. There's
Not only
an
that,
image.
calls her one too.
Okay, calls her one too, and at that time, even though you know that you're not one, you're saying you have to remain codified.
Codification says you're like a block of ice. None of that bothers you. And I'm talking about when I say bothers you, I'm not talking about you're faking it, that you're so mad you're about to burst, but you're supposed to be codified and you're holding it all in. No, you're not holding nothing in. It's nothing but words. You don't let words master you under any circumstance. A black person all over the world in any language is supposed to be the master of words. You don't let any word master you, take over what you are going to do and not do. I don't care what kind of word it is. They can invent, and which they do, the white supremacists, they invent all kinds of words all the time and give their definitions to it. And they jerk people around with these words every day, all day, because we haven't learned any better in all these years. But no black person on this planet, as of right this minute, should ever let a set of words cause you to do anything that shouldn't be done. Now, a set of words can cause you to do things that should be done, so you do those things. Why? Because they should be done. Words are nothing but tools to get something done. I don't care what kind of words they are.
What if they slap you, or back in the day, buck breaking, where they had anal sex with you in front of your people? What about that?
Oh, well, you do everything you can to prevent that, but at the same time, you do want to keep breathing.
Okay.
You don't want to be like Mr. Floyd, who let the thing get so out of hand that, by don't fuss, don't fight, don't flee. We are prisoners of war.
Which he didn't
black
do
people,
if you
black
saw
people all over the world are already prisoners of war. It's not like we're being taken prisoner.
Yes.
In the system of white supremacy, you're already a prisoner. And your skin color is your prison uniform.
Right.
Every black person on this planet is in prison. We have to keep that in mind. And when you're in a prison, accordingly. That's why I tell people to look at that movie, Schindler's List.
Yes.
All right? And act accordingly.
Yes.
Some people even tried, like a lady in a scene in that movie where a lady tries to tell the commandant of the prison that he made an error. And the commandant say, "Oh, in my prison, I made an error when I put up these barracks?" Said, "Yes, because I'm an engineer, and you should tell your soldiers that barracks is going to fall down." And he said, "Well, thank you very much." And then he shot her in the head. All right, black people got to understand this. We're in a prison.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, he was letting her know, lady, you're right, and you're really helping me. But because you think you can tell me anything, after you tell me something that's really going to help me, I'm going to blow your brains out.
Okay.
And that'll be a lesson to the rest of these people standing around here looking. The white supremacists operate like that because they can.
Sir. Before we move on, since you mentioned George Floyd, there was some additional footage, I guess they call it a body camera, that was shown, and Mr. Floyd did not fuss, fight, or flee, and they still did what they did to him. What do you say about? Beg your pardon?
Yes, but from what I saw, it looks like he was saying things that they didn't agree with.
Yeah, I can't breathe.
No, I'm talking about before then. He was pleading with them or something and all like that, and they would. In other words, they were arguing. That's what it looked like to me. There was an argument.
Okay.
Yes, when I am in a death camp, which is what the whole world is for a black person in the system of white supremacy, you don't argue, period. If the person says you're arguing, and even if you don't think you're arguing, you just ask a question. Well, why are you pulling me over, officer? Don't start an argument with me, boy. You got that? Don't argue with me. All right, once he says that, that's what that means.
Okay.
Because the next thing is a death sentence for you. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
These people, you don't play with these people.
Exactly.
You know, we think that we're some kind of game here. Well, this is no game.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about all over the world.
Yes, sir. Okay. All righty. Anyway, producejustice.com. All books for all 3 books are in. At least that's what you and I were told this morning, that all 3 copies are in. So producejustice.com is where you can go to get the publications, and I urge you to do that if you haven't already. All righty. I got Imani and Daryl coming up here. Let's see here. It's about 1:15.